Good morning. Happy Saturday, May 13th. Well, halfway through the month. Hope you're well. We are well. If someone can let me know you can see and hear me, I'd appreciate it. Hi, I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, where I talk about how I lost 97.4 pounds after starting the ketogenic protocol, how you may be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life like I did. Okay, today's topic is keto burnout, when you want to quit. Before I get into that, excuse me, a sip of my hashtag Casey's pink drink. For those of you who have not been here before, my practice is to spend several minutes talking about whatever the topic du jour is, and then giving thanks, and then turning my attention to people who are commenting, asking questions, sharing their stories. For those of you who don't know, the ketogenic protocol, as I learned it and as I have practiced it now for 9 years plus, keep your carbohydrate intake to 20 grams or fewer a day. Total carbs, not net carbs. Net carbs just means more carbs. If it's not on page 4, link below, don't eat it, but you don't even need a food list. Fatty sources of protein, limited amounts of non-starchy vegetables, and limited amounts of full-fat dairy if you can tolerate it. Excuse me. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Hardest part. The food is very straightforward. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Less straightforward. Enjoy eating until you're satiated. Enjoy that feeling of being satisfied. And I added, be patient and persevere. So there we are. Now, say you're doing all that. And either things, weight loss can fluctuate. Weight can fluctuate. So the weight loss can be rather rapid at the beginning if you have a decent amount of weight to lose, like I did. You can see at my blog, link below, caseydurango.com, photos from before I was doing the ketogenic protocol. And I was sometimes trying the move more, eat less to the extreme, doing sprint level triathlons, which was challenging at my size. But anyway, I had a lot of weight to lose, but weight fluctuates. The weight loss can slow down. Sometimes it can kind of peter out, or it feels like it's petering out, and we can become frustrated. And sadly, very often, I would say most often, based on the questions I get and the experiences that people share with me, get frustrated, throw in the towel, or forget about throwing in the towel. You jump into a bowl of pretzels. What the heck? I'm not losing weight. I might as well go ahead. Now, it could be this is where we are illogical sometimes. By the way, can everyone see and hear me? Is Scott here? He usually says, I can see and hear you. Okay, I'm going to assume you can. What was I saying? Oh, where we are illogical. Say I'll use myself as an example. Say I had lost 30 pounds, which was, I did, and it was amazing. It was like, what? I tried for decades just to lose 10 pounds in a year. And I lost 30 pounds, not overnight, but over the course of a few months, I lost 30 pounds. But what if it's, weight loss slowed down and it was, it was very incremental? Because the first year of this, I lost 47 pounds. Note, I don't say I only lost 47 pounds. I lost 47 freaking pounds, which averages out to less than a pound a week. But what if I said, oh, this is not fast enough, or, kind of, I'm going to go back to eating tortilla chips because I'm not losing weight anyway. Now, I lost 30 pounds. I'm using myself as an example. If I had lost 30 pounds, but then it slowed down or, kind of, hovered for a while, I get discouraged. I go back to doing the thing that I did 30 pounds ago. Illogical. But it can be frustrating. And I'm going to throw it out there that, there's all kinds of burnout. I've made a video about this before. In my opinion, we can get burnt out just from the onslaught of marketing and divergent recommendations. The different quote versions of keto. Do what works for you. But most people who are listening to me have or had a substantial amount of weight to lose, as I did. And they've tried just about everything else, as I did. And so they don't want to pussyfoot around. Don't pussyfoot around. Keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer total, not net. And don't eat if you're not hungry. But it's everywhere. There's keto, and then there are people really raking in dough, giving bad advice. I'm not going to just say, not great advice, bad advice. Saying the wrong, incorrect, opposite of correct things. And trying to sell a whole bunch of... Okay. Things are dinging around here. I hope it's not an emergency. They're selling things. You do not need to purchase one thing to be 100% successful at this. There is no product that will do this for you. You lay off the carbs. What happens when you reduce your carbohydrate intake sufficiently, our bodies stop burning glucose for fuel as main source of fuel and happily turn to burning ketone bodies, fat for fuel. Body fat. What does that? Not eating carbs. I don't care what Shark Tank says. Keto gummies? Really? Seriously? Come on. Keto granola bars? Nope. Keto brownies? Nope. Keto cereal? Nope. If you look at a side-by-side, I saw this in the store, so-called keto cereal next to plain Cheerios, the carb counts were just about the same per serving. So that can be confusing. It can be overwhelming. And then there's not to mention all the Facebook groups and the influencers and the YouTube channels, including mine. I have not really changed what I share about this approach that I do. And some people maybe are like, man, can you just say something different? Well, no, it's because it's keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer. Don't eat if you're not hungry. It hasn't changed for me. I'm not going to be reintroducing carbs for me. I'm not going to, because I know where that would lead. No place good. I am not going to arbitrarily not eat if I'm legit hungry, no matter what time of day it is. If I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. Unless I can't eat, and then it's not an emergency anyway. Hunger is a different thing when you're burning fat for fuel than when you're burning sugar for fuel. But we can just get burnt out, particularly if it can feel, and it can feel, like everyone around us is eating whatever the heck they want. And here I am, not eating tortilla chips, which I love, not eating peanut butter, which I really, really like. I wonder how peanut butter on tortilla chips would be. Not, not having cheesy breadsticks, and everyone else is doing it. It can be frustrating. You burned out. I'm tired of thinking about this. I'm tired of, again, air quotes, depriving myself. Now, I don't deprive myself. If I'm looking down at my New York strip or my ribeye or my bacon-wrapped scallops or my thick pork chop and my chicken thigh with the skin, crispy skin, I'm not being deprived. I'm just not eating the French fries or the bread. So, we don't want to feel deprived, and we don't want to feel like we're being punished. Why, universe? Why me? Why can carbs not be my friend? Well, because that's the way it is. On lots of things. But I would also caution, if we're having a little bit of a pity party for ourselves, looking around at other people who are eating the steak fries and chocolate cake, around us. Are they doing okay? Are we not seeing? Are we just choosing not to see that they are, probably 40 pounds overweight and, look unwell? Maybe we can't see the insulin they need to take for their diabetes. Yes, they're continuing to eat chocolate and fries, and they're not doing okay. We can burn ourselves out. Another thing is we can be frustrated in other aspects of our life. Um, Unfulfilling job, thankless child, broken heart, um, uh, unhappy balance in the bank, bank account, um, and we can decide, okay, I can't deal with all of this and lay off the carbs, which is not logical either because not eating something is not an added activity. It's not like you have to go to a lot of physical effort to not eat the Pringles. By the way, Pringles are not nutritious. They're not food. They're not even food adjacent. Just keep in mind. But sometimes we will kind of focus on the keto as our main source of frustration when really it's one of these other things. Or sometimes you just have a bad day. Everything's good, but man, the day sucks. I don't know why. I'm in a funk. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and order Domino's. Not a good choice. So when you want to quit, step back a minute and ask one thing. If I go back to eating the way I was before, will I go back to feeling the way I felt before? And if that way that I felt before was lousy, the transitive property of carbs. I eat carbs. I feel lousy. I put on weight, so I eat more carbs to make myself feel better, which only makes me feel worse. Talk about a vicious cycle. So step back, ask yourself, well, does this really make sense? Try to think of it in another way. Say you're struggling with credit card debt, and you know why you got into credit card debt, and you know how to get out of credit card debt. Pay off the credit cards as well as you can. But what you don't do is you don't go on a shopping spree with a bunch of credit cards. That will not help. So it's the same thing with our food choices. But also ask, am I really wanting to quit because of the food that I'm not eating? Or is it because of the thankless child or the unsatisfying job or the snotty neighbor who keeps whatever it can be? Their life has a list of frustrations every day. We navigate them. But as we say, if hunger is not the problem, food is not the solution. It won't make your thankless child throw their arms around you and thank you for raising them well. It won't make your boss a nicer person. It won't, it won't get you out of credit card debt. So when you want to quit, say maybe tomorrow I'll quit or maybe later on today, but right now, I'm going to stick with this. I've lost 8 pounds, which I've never been able to do before, and I feel better, and don't pay attention to the scale if it bothers you. Weight loss is lovely and is good for us if we're overweight. But the scale is not the best indicator of how we're doing. It's maybe number 7, right? How you feel coming off of medications, being able to go without an afternoon nap. By the way, I took an afternoon nap yesterday. About twice a year I do that. I was out. I'm sure I was snoring. But I generally don't need an afternoon nap anymore. Every day at about 3:00, I felt like I needed to take a nap before. Sleeping better. Joint pain resolving. Food not being the boss of you. Oh, by the way. Oh, I'm not wearing it. I'm wearing a different t-shirt. I have mugs and t-shirts and stuff. Food is not the boss of me. So don't quit. If you decide you're not going to follow the protocol anymore, be honest as to the reason. It's not because keto doesn't work. It does. But you have to do it. You have to do it. And the not eating if not hungry is part of it. Be honest, say, I just don't want to do this anymore. Or I'm perfectly happy with how I felt before. That's okay. But don't say keto doesn't work, and don't say that it's too hard to do. It can be challenging, but those are challenges we bring to the table. And we can work our way through them. From social pressure to familial pressure to personal habits. Those are challenges that we succumb to, but we can overcome them. So don't quit. And goodness sake, don't follow all the hype out there. Keep your carbs low. Lay off the carbs and lay off the excuses. That's another mug. Okay. As I said, you do not need to buy one thing to be 100% successful at this protocol, but I will happily sell you mugs and t-shirts and water bottles. There's a mug. You can see a link to some of my products that I enjoy designing at the link below at my spread shop. This one is Keto in American Sign Language. KETO. Subtle. I don't have it. Oh, yes, my book. You can get this. I knew I was going to do that. I'm a klutz. Green Book, 12-month record book. You can get this at Amazon. Link to it at my blog, which is linked below. I want to thank patrons, some of whom are here. I have a private support group. Oh, Dr. Teresa Ulrich. A private support group on patreon.com where, depending on your pledge level, you get 20 pre-recorded video snippets in the morning. Me without makeup, pillow hair, and the topics usually suggested by patrons. And then going up from there, handful of patron-only live streams on Crowdcast every month, and going up from there one-on-one with me a month. Thank you very much. And also, thank you guys for any of the likes or the thumbs up you give. I mean, that apparently helps my channel, which I've said before. And I'm not seeing any of the little hearts. I'm now gotten now it's going to start hurting my feelings now that you can give little hearty, floaty hearts. I saw them and now I really want them. Now, oh, thank you, whoever you were, thank you. What was I going to say? Oh, all right. Now I'm going to turn my attention to you all. Thank you. So I just jump in. Brandy McWilliams, good morning from Northwest Indiana. And Diane thank you for the hearts. And Diane Gendrek, weight has been creeping up on me, and it's because of those things that are creeping back on my plate. Thank you for sharing that, Diane. That's the truth. And you're being very transparent about it. It's not because it stops working. It's because I started eating some things. Dr. Teresa Ulrich. Oh, I just noticed Jack sleeping in the background. How cute. I guess he does need naps. LOL. He does. There's good guy Jack. It's a little hard to see him. Oh, and hashtag Casey's Pink Drink. Tumbler full of ice. Diet tonic water up to about here. Splash of diet cranberry and a squeeze of lime. Love the shirt. Thank you, Dr. Ulrich. Oh, Carlos Tuck, my blood pressure went down by cutting most carbs. It went down to 107/67. Wow. Congratulations. A little crafty note. Positive self-talk only. You are not a klutz. No, honey, I am a klutz. I am. And my backyard is going to kill me one day. I can't tell you how many times I've tripped and fallen in my backyard. Oh, here's some of the remnants of the one I did last week. But I'm a klutz. Doc Shungal, be a patron. It's the best. Thank you. Rose Haygood. Hello from wet Texas. And Joni Sanchez. Good morning, Sunshine Casey. And hello to the precious Jack. Sweet old Jack. He just turned 13 last month. Yvonne Gilman. Getting the weight off was relatively simple. It's keeping it off is harder. I've learned not to have goodies in the house but going out is more difficult. I don't want to go back ever. We have to learn those things that are challenging. Some people find it easy to stay on course during the work week, but the weekends or their non-work days are hard. Some people find just the opposite. They're fine left to their own devices at home, but in the work environment, the office environment, particularly if you're in the healthcare profession, I hear from a lot of people in the healthcare profession. It's more challenging. There's food everywhere. And yes, so we generally, my husband and I do this. My husband never had a weight issue, but he heard the same medical lectures I was hearing from Dr. Westman and Drs. Finney and Volek when I was first doing this. And he does it for general good health. And he had to go to the doctor the other day for a follow-up. He has a rotator cuff situation going on, nothing dramatic, but it was follow-up. And the nurse was in there. Now, let me tell you what, the nurse is big, but she was delightful and lovely. But she was taking, history and stuff. And she asked about medications. And he said, I don't take any. You don't take any medications? No. Well, aren't you good? I don't take any medications. She looked at me. I said, I don't take any medications either. She said, wow. She says she has some people, young people coming in. She says, seriously, doing the intake will take half an hour because they are on 20 medications. Wow. What was my point? I don't recall. Squirrel. Carlos Terriquez, I love eating low carb. I've extended my cooking skills. Linda Bridges, thank you. Jackie Starling, Yvonne, me too. It's hard to keep it off. It is constant work and perseverance. It is. You got to persevere. And I find that I am requiring gradually less and less fuel. As I grow older, my stage of life, my body composition, whatever it is, I need less than I used to eat. And we have to kind of embrace that. It can be weird. People say, is that all you're eating? Yep. Denise Anderson, lots of real talk. Being self-aware of our own sabotage is the first step in getting back on track. Absolutely. We like to tell ourselves, and frankly, the media and even medical professionals will say, and we use the A word a little bit too much, I believe, in describing our food choices. If you know what that word is, I won't say it. We'll say, well, it's the food is irresistible. Well, it's not irresistible. We can resist it. We have the power to resist it. But if we tell ourselves or other people that we trust are telling us it's irresistible, it's no wonder you'll never be able to keep it off. The food is irresistible. It's manufactured to be that way. Yes, it is manufactured to be delicious. And it's just the combination of fat and sugar that is delicious. But I'm not going to say irresistible because we can resist it. Look at it this way. Someone puts a dozen Krispy Kremes, which was invented right near my house, not near my house, but right here. Dozen Krispy Kremes, warm. Oh, they're so good. And you think, I can't resist them. I can't resist them. They're Krispy Kremes. But someone says, here is a stack of $20,000, tax-free. Don't eat the donuts. Oh, okay, I think I can resist them. So we have to tell ourselves, we have to not tell ourselves what we can't do. And another t-shirt, I'm stronger than a cookie. We tell ourselves, I'm powerless against Oreos. Or I just, the food just leaps into my mouth. Well, if you are hearing my voice, you're old enough to have gotten old enough to have had real problems in your life. And you get even older enough, you've had real problems in your life. I've had real problems in my life. I've had scary things happen, and I survived it. But I'm going to tell myself I can't resist Oreos? I'm stronger than Oreos. Happy Ferret, right? Oh, difficult to avoid my husband's cookies and chocolate. Well, but you gotta. Happy Ferret, we had pizza at work this week, scraped off the toppings and tossed away the crust. Got a few looks, but after a minute, no one cared. They probably maybe you asked maybe they wanted your crust. Dr. Teresa Ulrich, I find it gets harder to keep off as I age. Yes, that Casey. Yes. That's normal. Nothing to be ashamed of. And it's not a character flaw. Little crafty nook, eating less is the key. Yvonne Gilman, I'm in the UK and we had a great street party celebrating the coronation. Wow. They had cream teas and scones, cream and strawberry jam. Torture, she says. Did you resist? Dr. Teresa Ulrich, I agree, little crafty nook. And keeping a good of lean body mass on board, though workouts helps too. Laura Harthan, thank you for the hearts. Little crafty nook, I'm working on that aspect, Dr. Teresa. Working out a lot too. Little crafty nook. Oh, Yvonne, I can't even imagine. Nancy B, we are not spoiled 3-year-olds. Put yourself in a corner until a better attitude returns. Put yourself in timeout. We're not 3-year-olds, but we really do. And this is when, sometimes we want to quit because we frankly, we start being a little petulant. Then I want my Oreos. Why can my cousin eat all that food? Because she can. Or he can. Why? There are mixed nuts in our house, and I am resisting them. I am out loud saying I don't eat mixed nuts. My husband has mixed nuts every day. Why can he eat the mixed nut and I can't eat the mixed nut? He's so mean. No. What was the phrase? You can visit Pity City, but you don't want to live there. All right, I'm going to start winding down. I really appreciate you guys letting me be part of your day. And just remember, if I can do this, you can do this. I didn't get to be as big as I was by not making every excuse and every self-serving excuse that I could. And I wallowed. I was a wallower. I wallowed in why me? Why me? Why me? Because it was me. I've had worse things happen. I've been diagnosed and treated for cancer 3 times. I never once said, why me about that. I just figured, okay, over the course of however long it was, 20 years, I've had 3 cancers. I'm here to tell the tale. And I'm stronger than a cookie, but I still wallowed about the food. That's not attractive or helpful. So if you want to see photos of a short, fat woman, go to my blog. Diane Jendrick, so great to catch you today. I needed a talking to. Yes, and lots of people do, right? Little Crafty Nook and Brandy McWilliams, I wallowed in why me and wheat thins. Ooh, I like it. Why me? Pass the wheat thins. God, I could eat an entire box of wheat thins. And it somehow felt okay. Or Triscuits. By the way, whole grain, whatever, bran muffin, Snickers bar, potato, it all comes out from our liver as simple sugar, glucose, simple sugar. Alrighty, little Crafty Nook, I had to take them away from my husband yesterday. Brandy, he was happy I did, but he's still susceptible. Triscuits and tortilla chips. I told myself out loud I couldn't eat tortilla. I couldn't go the rest of my life without eating a tortilla chip. And I haven't eaten one in 9 years. So there we go. Thanks, friends. Keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer. Total, not net. If it's not on page 4, link below. Don't eat it. Don't eat. If you're not hungry, and stop eating and enjoy the feeling of being satisfied. Be patient and persevere. Hasta la vista, baby. Ciao for now.